you snap a penny really far. You see, it's literally you put a
Yeah, I've
coin
seen
right
him do
there.
that.
And right, let's go live because we can. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Cliff, I'm so glad that we're in the same place together now. It's been so many weeks that we've been side by side, but only virtually through the
That's right.
magic of Hollywood.
No more split screens across a very far and distant land.
Although it's really great to have that split screen available so people can call in and we can
It's
see their
useful.
lovely faces.
It's super useful. Why are we starting early? Hello, we're starting early. So welcome to the live show. Yes, it is Torn Tuesday. Usually you could set your watch by it. Usually you can set your watch by, him starting the show without me.
At 5 o'clock sharp, but
And
it's 4:14, 15, it's 17.
it's
sharp.
4:17.
That's right.
And in 3 minutes, the entire state of California is going to go up in smoke like an old Cheech and Chong movie. In just 3 more minutes. Hey, you live here, you know what the culture is like. It's really kind of funny.
I don't have to subscribe to the culture to live in it.
I'm not subscribing to it. I'm just making a joke.
This is your weekly dose of all things Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. And, we had to do the show early because there's so much to talk about after the Oscars and who won and what that means and what we lost.
The entire city is still coming down off of the buzz. Although they're about to start a new buzz in 2 minutes. The entire city of Los Angeles, which is a massive metropolitan crafted quilt of so many neighborhoods, so many people, that everything comes to a screeching halt for Oscar Sunday. And still, a few blocks away from where we are now, just a few blocks down, at the Hollywood and Highland intersection, right outside the Kodak Theater, street closures. Still serious blocks and blocks of street closures down there. It takes them 2 days to disassemble the massive media tent and the big, structure, the media structure, and the extra grandstands and all the people where the red carpet arrivals happen.
They take over Hollywood Boulevard.
They do.
Every year we have this debate amongst our Angelino friends that they should make permanent that street closure in front of Hollywood and Highland and the world famous Chinese theater. I mean, it should just be like Times Square is, which is no cars, street vendors, maybe some chairs to sit in and relax. But the world famous Avenue of Stars, Boulevard of Stars, like it wasn't built for the amount of crowds that are there now.
It is insane,
and it should just be closed between Highland and Orange. That should just be a street thoroughfare with people dancing in the street for money, taking pictures all you want. Right now, if people want to take their photo in front of the Chinese theater, they're walking out in front of traffic.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But how are you going to reroute the bus routes? There's major bus routes.
They can find a way.
At least 2 of them that are connected right through that intersection. What are you going to do? Detour them around the whole bloody block?
Well, that's what they did at the Oscars. They detour everybody around this huge line in and out down the street from the Chinese theater. Look, there's so much excitement in town.
So many exciting things to talk about today.
Like the Oscars just happened.
Can you believe it? Like, my eyes are opened. Like, John Williams didn't win, and I love the score for The Shape of Water. We love The Shape of Water because of our affection and our deep connections to Guillermo del Toro. But you know what I thought? I thought since John Williams is not going to be doing, he says he's not going to do any more scores for Star Wars films. I thought that they would give him one. Give him a swan song.
Oh, there's one more movie.
Is he gonna?
He wants to finish the 9.
He wants to finish the 9. He wants to finish the Skywalker saga.
Yes.
Well, then they better give that man an Oscar somewhere along the line. John Williams, I'm going to miss him from the Star Wars universe. His music is everything.
People in the chat room are saying that you sound clearer than me. That's only because you have a louder voice. I
have this distinct speaking voice.
I need to sit up close, and you need to lean back, and then our audio levels come together. I'm so excited, but let's talk a little bit about the history of the people involved in this week's amazing turnaround for the Oscars.
Yes.
So why were we rooting for Guillermo del what does he have to do with the One Ring.net?
In case you guys don't know, there was a little movie out there. It was going to be 2 parts. It was going to be a 1-part, 2-part movie adaptation of The Hobbit. And the OneRing.net, being the world's biggest J.R.R. Tolkien web portal and bringing everyone all the news, we were really aggressively part of the campaign of Make The Hobbit Happen.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago, when we didn't think that there was going to be a Hobbit film, and MGM had so many struggles, so many problems, and guess what? Warner Brothers was tied into the licensing of The Hobbit with MGM. And who did Peter Jackson bring on board to direct and make The Hobbit? It was Guillermo del Toro. William the Bull. Love that name, William the Bull. He's the best. He's one of my favorite directors. Pan's Labyrinth is one of the most exquisite experiences ever in cinema, ever. And here he comes, going to bring that dark and interesting, weird touch. He loves his monsters. Del Toro loves all kinds of creatures and weird things. And, I'm a big fan of the Hellboy films as well. So here comes Guillermo del Toro bringing what you'd call a fantasy into the arena of Best Picture. And back when the MGM implosion happened, there were 2 major franchises that got a red light, a crushing red light. One of them was 007.
James Bond.
007 himself. James Bond franchise comes to a halt. Craig, everybody, the whole production, Broccoli, the producers, they're like, what are we going to do? Because MGM is physically dying and financially imploding. What's the other major franchise that got shut down?
Lord of the Rings.
The Hobbit.
The Hobbit.
The Hobbit. Yep.
The Hobbit.
So after sitting down there in New Zealand for over a year and a half.
3 years.
3 and a half? Wait, I thought it was a year and a half too. Okay.
Now, here.
There's contention on how long, but he and his family were down in New Zealand for a long, long time.
They were down there for 3 years. Now his children were grade school age.
Yes.
Elementary and middle school age. So can you imagine uprooting your family from their home in LA and all their friends to move to New Zealand? I know, sounds like a dream, but really think through the logistics here. Uprooting your family, moving to New Zealand, buying a house down there, and then getting to work, going to work for 3 years, and then after 3 years saying, you know what, we may not even make this movie. The complications from the studio bankruptcy is too weird. We don't know if it's going to be settled in 6 months or 6 years. And it was, you can watch the appendices. They barely touch on them in the appendices of The Hobbit, but you can see how Peter Jackson was very, very rushed because whatever work was done. And in fact, the studio, when they parted ways with Guillermo del Toro on The Hobbit, the studio clamped down and said, throw away all the work. All the designs.
Unbelievable.
All the creature designs.
Unbelievable.
All the dwarf designs. The design for Beorn. Everything that Guillermo had spent years working with the best artists in the world.
In Weta, yes.
We've talked to several of the artists, both in New Zealand and when they come to San Diego Comic-Con. And what all of them have said multiple times is that the work they did on Guillermo del Toro's The Hobbit was some of the best work they've done in their careers. And it is gutting that no one will ever see it. Now, these are accomplished filmmaker, visual effects people.
Yeah.
In fact, they can share in Blade Runner's 2049's Oscar.
Hey, Kieran.
Because Weta did all the bigotures.
Yes.
So for Blade Runner. So and these people are also ones that worked on Lord of the Rings and won all the Oscars. Like they are the best of the best.
Yes.
And when they say that some of the best work they've ever done was on Guillermo's Hobbit that we will never see,
it's heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking, and it gives you a sense of what happened and the crushing loss that we as fans need to feel now that he has been validated as an Oscar-winning caliber filmmaker, which we all knew, and we already knew.
Yes,
but it's crushing to hear that just the sadness in people's voices and their eyes when they say that the work that they had to throw away under a rushed production schedule.
I know. Crazy pants.
for the Hobbit that we got.
And I agree with you, Ryan Hamilton. I agree with you 100%. Out of all the Best Picture nominees, the one Best Picture nominee that should have been nominated and was not was Blade Runner 2049. Absolutely overlooked. I'm not so sure it would have won, but I would have voted for it to win Best Picture. My favorite as well.
But it did deserve,
Roger Deakins.
It did deserve the 2 awards it got.
Outstanding cinematography. It's some of the best you'll ever see.
Roger Deakins has done so many films. And in
Yes,
fact,
so brilliant.
In fact,
he's a legend.
He lost to Lord of the Rings. He lost, I think, 2 times.
To the late Andrew Lesnie.
To the late Andrew Lesnie for Lord of the Rings. I mean, the only thing that got in his way it was just... it's crazy. Like he should have won ages ago. So this is a long time coming. And the fact that you can...
Yes.
Look, we've all seen the Star Wars prequels. We've all seen the Hobbit trilogy. Trying to replicate an old movie with a new movie and new technology and replicate the feeling of the visuals is hard to do. I don't know if Peter Jackson was able to pull it off. George Lucas definitely didn't pull it off. But Roger Deakins, as director of cinematography on Blade Runner 2049, he definitely pulled it off. That movie feels just like a return to the original film.
Indeed it does.
That's hard to pull off.
Excellent return. Scott, you're correct. It is kind of cool that this is the second sci-fi / fantasy film to win Oscar for Best Picture. And both were associated with Middle Earth. Tangent one. Once again, the associations with Middle Earth are quite strong.
It's funny when Peter Jackson won the Oscar for Best Film and Best Director.
Yeah,
his speech was very similar. Oh, we got a call.
We got a call on the hotline. Hey there, you are live on Torn Tuesday. Where are you calling from? Hey, well, do you know the way to San Jose? Yes, you do.
So what did you think of Guillermo's big win this weekend?
Yes.
I think I would have given it to Greta Gerwig or Christopher Nolan. but I think Guillermo del Toro did a very good job.
I think he should have gotten this Oscar for Pan's Labyrinth a few years ago, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of buzz was with Greta Gerwig and her film, but I just feel like that was a good first film. It's a snapshot of life right now.
It's not her first film.
Well, it's a good film. First directing, and it's an excellent snapshot of a time. It reminded me of who's the girl that did Girls on HBO?
Lena Dunham.
It reminds me of the new Lena Dunham, who did Tiny Furniture. Yeah, Lena Dunham got big from her film Tiny Furniture, which again explores a relationship between mom. But what do you think this heralds a new era in supporting filmmakers that do fantasy stories?
Yeah, I think in a way it does. I think the last 4 years, the Best Picture winners have been a little bit different than the usual stuff.
How do you mean?
I'm very happy about The Shape of Water. That was very good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But as fantasy, well, I certainly hope so.
Well, here's the thing: when Peter Jackson won, his Oscar speech was very similar. Where his Oscar speech, he basically said he hoped that this heralds a new era of respect for fantasy storytelling. Here we are, 15 years later, and it took 15 years to get another fantasy Oscar.
Yeah.
Well, we were kind of close with Arrival last year.
Yeah, Arrival was amazing.
Yep, it was. Now, in that same part of the conversation, I will quickly interject this little stickler. All those years ago, all those years ago, Steven Spielberg should have won Best Picture for Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It really should have. It didn't win Best Picture, and everybody would have been having that conversation back then. Oh, wow, a sci-fi movie really winning Best Picture? But it should have happened back then, honestly. I gotta look up who else was up against him that year. Do me a favor, hand me that tablet.
All right.
Thank you. No, go ahead, please, caller.
Were there any other surprises for you during the Oscars this year?
Right? Not really. It kind of went as expected.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
I was very happy. I was very happy about Roger Deakins.
Yes.
Me too.
Blade Runner was magnificent.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I was very happy. I think it's probably Blade Runner and Star Wars are probably my favorite film
Yeah.
of 2017.
How about that? Thank you.
It is. It totally is.
Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty happy.
Totally. Me
I
too.
was very happy about Christopher Nolan finally
Yeah.
getting a nomination.
I know. It's crazy to
if
think.
if anyone is overdue, it's Christopher Nolan.
This is totally true. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate you calling in.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll open up lines for other people. Thank you for calling.
Excellent. Thank you. You know what?
So, listen, it's crazy to think that Kobe Bryant has an Oscar and Christopher Nolan does not. Kobe Bryant has an Oscar and Andy Serkis hasn't even been nominated.
That's insane when you stop to
So
put it in perspective, son. Yes.
That's
disappointing.
Christopher Nolan deserved it for The Dark Knight. The first Dark Knight, Heath Ledger's Dark Knight, was a perfect film.
That was great. Yeah.
It was just a perfect film. And the fact that he didn't get it there. Did he deserve it for Dunkirk? I don't think so.
I would have given him the best Oscar directing, Christopher Nolan. I would have given it to him for The Prestige, to be honest. That's one of my favorite movies
It's my favorite
ever.
too. And it has Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis and David Bowie.
As Andy Serkis.
Yes, Andy Serkis and David Bowie. And, Michael Caine, Christian Bale, and a very interesting performance by Hugh Jackman. I would have given Christopher Nolan Oscar love a long time ago. Maybe Inception, maybe The Prestige, because I love those movies. They're great.
The other reason that it's significant that Guillermo del Toro won, and he won this year, is his win is part of the Me Too movement. Now, it is well known that Guillermo del Toro was used and abused by Harvey Weinstein on his first film, Mimic.
Mimic, starring Black Panther's Forrest Whitaker and who? Mira Sorvino.
That's right.
That's right.
And Guillermo's first Hollywood movie with Weinstein was whatever happened between them so bad. Weinstein said he was going to spike Guillermo's career. And the general feeling in Hollywood right now is that, so many movies have started and stopped with Guillermo attached. And one of the reasons people attribute to that is the Harvey Weinstein influence. He was famously attached to Mountains of Madness, The Haunted Mansion, the
Love at the Mountains of Madness,
the Universal horror movies,
The
Hobbit. I mean, there's so many movies, even Hellboy 3. And what happened? They all fizzled out and disappeared.
Yep. And the studio screwed him over with the Hellboy 3 decision. They really did.
But a lot of
Sorry, Universal.
A lot of that was colored and influenced by Harvey's influence. So let's just be honest. Harvey Weinstein was a total. He influenced everything that went on in this town.
Strange but true.
And in fact, Harvey Weinstein had a piece of all the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit films. In fact, every DVD that you've bought, money has gone into Harvey Weinstein's pocket. He has a piece of everything.
Don't feel guilty about it.
And so
just keep thinking that you're spending money on Weta.
Here's how crazy it got.
Oh my God.
1997, the Oscars, Titanic wins everything. sets the record
Yep.
for most awards,
Yep.
Oscars, won in a single night. Titanic dominated everything. James Cameron took home 14, I think, Oscars that night, matched by Peter Jackson a few years later. 1997, at the Oscar ceremony, if anyone that talks to James Cameron about what it was like that Oscar night, the only memory he has is getting into a fight with Harvey Weinstein
Yes.
over his treatment of Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah. Yes.
Whatever happened
Yes, he did.
was so brutal and so mean and so career-defining, career-hurting, that James Cameron, all he could think about was not winning the Oscars and appreciating the success of Titanic. All he could think about was beating up Harvey Weinstein with his golden trophies
Mhm.
because he had done Guillermo wrong.
He had done
So
him wrong.
this story is the
Done him
story
wrong.
is well known in Hollywood. So
Out of all the other people in Hollywood that he's done wrong against, Harvey Weinstein also did wrong in a different way.
Guillermo's
Against
win
Del Toro.
was part of the anti-Weinstein movement. Did he deserve it for this movie?
There's
Yes.
There's some sweet validation in that. There's extra layers of sweetness in there.
Here's what they tell you about. Everyone tells you about professional career, especially in Hollywood, is that magic happens when you're at the right place at the right time, the right story, and the right skill set. This skill is demanded, the talent is demanded, but once in a while, a sliver of opportunity opens up, and it happens. And that's what happened last night. Guillermo was the right person, with the right history, with the wrong man at the right time. And this was his to win. He totally deserves it. This was a total repudiation of Harvey Weinstein by giving Shape of Water best film and best director. It's basically saying, Harvey, you're out. We know how much you hate Guillermo. We know how much you hate this guy, and you don't want him to succeed. And you've spent 20 years spiking his career. It's over. And I think this is the time for Guillermo.
Yes.
And if Amazon was smart, they would put Guillermo in charge of the Amazon Lord of the Rings series.
That's an idea. A thunderbolt from a clear blue sky. Justin had a good idea. How about that? You heard it here first, folks. Justin just had a good idea. I'll give you that one, brother. I'll give you that.
I want, based on all the conversations that we've had with everybody that worked on pre-production on Guillermo's The Hobbit.
Yes.
I want to see his, and you've seen Guillermo since then.
This could be like another shot at redemption. The fact that Del Toro was in Middle Earth for so long, now maybe he can have a chance to come back and do something really
wonderful. And it's a clean slate. He doesn't have to tell an existing story.
Yeah, exactly.
He is not remaking anything.
He's not tethered, unless they make the decision to bring some of the actors back and keep some of the design work in.
But the stories
are
new.
All stories are new, but the in-world design from Weta, if Weta gets on board, gosh, it'd be great. It'd be really interesting.
Yes.
Imagine.
He is the right person to shepherd, even if he doesn't direct. Now, as we all know, you don't have to direct every episode of a TV series like Lord of the Rings.
That's right.
Breaking Bad was created by Vince Gilligan, but some of the best directors in town, Michelle McNamara, like Ryan Johnson, did some of the best episodes of Breaking Bad.
Yes.
All Vince Gilligan, he was the master storyteller. He was kind of the showrunner, the overseer of the world.
Yeah.
That's what I want out of Guillermo del Toro and Amazon and Lord of the Rings.
Dude,
make him
I'm down.
The
I'm so down.
And then let him hire the directors he wants.
You heard it here first, everybody. Guillermo del Toro, William the Bull, or maybe we should call him William the Conqueror. He should conquer the stage of what Amazon is setting up. He should be, he's very, very, very good at putting long threads of fantasy narrative together. He's doing it with Tales from Arcadia, which is Troll Hunters on Netflix, which will soon also have Wizards as another offshoot series. And there's three
series.
Three fantasy series, long, tethered threads of narrative. And he's masterful at bringing them together. I love everything about the animated Troll Hunters series. I love everything about Del Toro's work. And what he's doing is great.
Since he left The Hobbit.
Nope. Nope. Not since we had that secret backstage conversation
That's right.
at San Diego Comic Con, and I think it was in 2000. I want to say 2011. It might have been 2011, 2010, when Larry Curtis and I were sitting in the back behind Gentle Giant Studios, deep in the heart of their booth, and Del Toro made sure that we were in a cone of silence, and he sat us down together. And he's like, "Guys, come here, listen." All of the people that were bustling around selling merchandise for Gentle Giant, which, they had a lot of Hellboy, beautiful
That's right.
sculptures of Hellboy merchandise and great characters from the Hellboy series. He leaned in. He's like, "Boys, I'm going to tell you something. Never told anyone. Come close." And he got us in. He whispered to us, "Nothing has ever broken my heart the way this situation has broken my heart. To try so hard, and what I wanted to do was going to go so far, and all the things you wouldn't believe, and to see their work put away, to see the artists that were working with me have to put everything away." He said nothing. He admitted that nothing had ever professionally broken his spirit, and he was
as
his
walking away.
Guillermo del Toro was extremely candid with us, extremely candid, and I'll never forget that conversation.
Like this is his ultimate professional heartbreak. And people say, wasn't he fired?
Yeah.
Or didn't he quit? Look, here's the deal. It's not as simple as that. What happened was when MGM went bankrupt, portions of the rights became available. No one knows how it was going to settle, and Warner Brothers put a stop work on all pre-production on
Don't
The
you think
Hobbit.
that they should have some sense and release a book of The Hobbit that never was? I mean,
Well,
a book like a nicely researched and beautiful thing.
It would break our heart.
It might freak everybody out. Because I heard that Beorn's house was going to be walking around like the hut of Baba Yaga, walking around on chicken legs. That would have been so crazy to see Beorn's house walking around on legs.
And Beorn was going to be played by Ron Perlman.
Nah, that would have been the best.
Hellboy himself.
It would have been. Yes.
The guy that played Beast in the TV show Beauty and the Beast with Linda Hamilton.
Playing a big furry beast again.
Ron Perlman is the perfect Beorn. In fact, he started following the One Ring on Twitter, and that was kind of our first tip off. Like, oh,
yeah, yeah, that was, dude. That's funny.
But
hi, Pete.
But
welcome to the show.
I just think that
hi, Letitia.
They put a stop work. Warner Brothers put a stop work when MGM went bankrupt, and they said we're not paying anybody. We can't. We're not going to keep paying salaries on a project that we don't know if we can move forward on.
Yeah, they didn't know that they could even release it. Why work on a big, expensive $175 million film if you can't release it?
So if you had just moved to New Zealand and spent 2 years doing it, and they said, hey, you can keep working for free, but we can't pay you, that is a tough decision. Yeah. Would you work on The Hobbit for free? As much as you loved it, with a mortgage to pay, with 3 mortgages to pay, because he had his Cave of Wonders here. Weta, also, they put a stop work at Weta, and they said we can't afford to keep paying the artists to do work. So Weta was in a cash crunch, and was like, what do you mean? Like, stop work. So all the artists...
Fair point, Douglas. Very fair point.
And Weta was like, we don't want to fire anybody. Like, Weta was like... And Richard Taylor, he's so important and such a smart guy and cares about his artists so much. The last thing he wants to do is let anyone go.
Yes.
He will move heaven and earth.
That's true.
To keep people employed. Yes. And when they put a stop work on The Hobbit, Richard moved mountains, literally, to keep everyone employed as much as possible. Get them on other movies.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to lose this brain drain. And so, like, this wasn't a case of, like, the studio not liking what Guillermo was doing with The Hobbit or anything like that. It was just a victim of circumstance and the troubles of MGM. And, if they came to you and said, you can keep working on The Hobbit, but we can't pay you, and you say, how long will that be? Like, I can work 6 months without pay. And they say, well, it might be 6 months, it might be 3 years. Could you afford to live and
No.
raise a family
No.
without getting paid for
No.
3 years?
No. Absolutely not.
That is the heartbreak of Guillermo's The Hobbit, and that's why I really want him to make a deal with Amazon right now, even if he just puts his name on it and oversees production in
God, that'd be
some
great.
capacity.
That would be so great. That would be great.
And you know
And
who
you
else
know
would
what?
have been a part of Guillermo's movie? Doug Jones.
Yeah. Oh, forever, Doug Jones, my favorite performer. He's the best. He might have been a very interesting Thranduil. He would have given a very interesting take on the Elf King. Really, that would have been very, very interesting. But a word about power in this town in Hollywood. Now that he's got that Oscar, Del Toro has the power to get a meeting with Amazon. He can get a meeting with anybody in this town
He
he
can do
wants.
whatever he wants,
He can do whatever he freaking wants.
except make Hellboy 3.
Except make the H.P. Lovecraft at the Mountains of Madness. Except, gosh, they've really screwed him over so many times.
And a lot of that screwing over has to do with the influence of Harvey Weinstein. I mean, you guys don't understand.
Alfredo's like, get The Rock. Dwayne The Rock Johnson to play Beorn? That's funny. Good.
He's in every other monster movie.
Yeah, he is. Now, check this out. The thing is, now the immediate days following the Oscars, which I was just joking about earlier at the top of the show, it's all about street closures, and they're still pulling scaffolding and things down off of Hollywood Boulevard. The real thing is that right after the Oscars, people who are Oscar winners get meetings. They get scripts thrown at them. They get phone calls to their agents. It is a blitzkrieg of activity after the biggest day in Hollywood.
And it's as simple as...
And it's all about, want to work on our project? Take a look at the script. William, you're going to be awesome for this. And Guillermo del Toro has to get a lot of people around him to stop this flood of calls. How do we not even know that Jeff Bezos from Amazon? Imagine he's already called Guillermo del Toro. Imagine he's called him.
Do you think the heartbreak is too tough? Do you think that his heart was broken so deeply by leaving The Hobbit that it would be too painful to revisit?
No. It would be like on Tosh.0 when you get a video, a YouTube redemption, a video redemption chance. If Del Toro sees the opportunity that's there, I think he'll go for it. Unless he really gets that phone call from Universal and says, guess what? H.P. Lovecraft at the Mountains of Madness, it's back on. Or if, he might even be getting phone calls saying, Hellboy 3, it's back on. Because he's won Best Director, Best Picture, and he can do anything he wants. How many people do you think are knocking on his door?
I really would like him
Everyone.
to oversee.
Everyone.
I want Guillermo to be the Kevin Feige of the Universal Monsterverse. I want him to take over and do 12 films, 20 films that have to do with the Mummy, Dracula, the Wolfman,
What was it?
And Creature from a Black Lagoon.
They launched the brand as Dark Universe.
Dark Universe with Tom Cruise.
Dark Universe.
Yeah.
With the Tom Cruise, the Mummy. That is the worst, lamest way to start the Dark Universe, with that lame movie.
They need to have an auteur that can handle big budgets and big effects.
And knows how to tell a monster story that really has feeling. Real feeling. Real emotions.
Because I think,
real characters.
Remember when Universal, I mean, everyone grew up on these films when the Universal monster movies were so pop culture that they did Abbott and Costello meet the Mummy. They had I Love Lucy meet. They had all these funny crossovers of the Dracula meets
Abbott and Costello meet the Wolfman.
Yeah.
Love that.
I think Guillermo has the sensibility to create a universe where that can happen.
Wouldn't that be great?
You make a couple horror movies, a couple rated R's, a couple PG-13s, a couple PG movies for the kids, and then you start mixing and matching them up. I think Guillermo would be a good choice. But selfishly, I want him to return to Middle Earth because the work,
I'm with you.
the work that people have said, I wonder if Kelly Rice, she's been to Weta, she's worked there, she's been on set. I wonder if she has any insight. I wonder if she's seen anything. It would be
Yeah.
interesting to know, like, what was there. Like, remember the first sneak picture we got of Bjorn, and it was like this grainy purple hued creature. And we're like, that's not Bjorn. Like, he's purple. He's got a mohawk on his back. Like,
The
Guillermo.
mullet to end all mullets is
That
what it was called.
that was not Guillermo's Bjorn.
No, it would have been something else entirely.
And you know that
Really would have
Guillermo's Bjorn would have been the hero of the Battle of Five Armies, as he was supposed to be. Right?
And there would have been this epic thing where Beorn came up to protect Thorin on the field of battle.
Yeah.
And we would have had a lot less of Azog. You know what I mean? It would have been something else.
Yeah.
I'm loving this idea that Amazon still needs a showrunner.
Doug Jones could have been a great Azog.
Doug Jones? In
In a suit?
In a prosthetic suit as
Yes.
Azog?
Yes.
He's so slender, though. He's so slender.
They can build him up however he wants. Azog was supposed to be a military genius, not a brute like Balg.
Right. Well, Azog was supposed to be dead. In The Hobbit, Azog was supposed to be dead the whole time. Anyways, you guys are an awesome audience. We appreciate you jumping on board for a very early, like we were on 45 minutes earlier than our usual time. But we have a special appointment. We have to get through Hollywood traffic, and there's all street closures still down there.
All street closures still happening.
I live here in Hollywood. I'm just a few blocks away from the center of activity, the Kodak Theater houses the Academy Awards. And pretty soon, we're going to go have a secret meeting with a certain secret somebody. So we can
who may or may not have just had a heart attack. I don't know. But look, here's the big thing with the Oscars this year is that usually it's the genre films that win the technical awards, best special effects, best sound mixing, sound design.
A word about Planet of the Apes not getting the visual effects.
Not getting anything.
I have a word for you, Academy. F you, mother effers. I'm done.
Blade Runner deserved the visual effects Oscar, but Andy Serkis deserves a performance Oscar for what he did.
The visual effects of the three Apes movies is just beyond.
It was a performance. He should have got nominated for performance.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But it was interesting to see that this year the genre films won the big award. Actor, writer, director, picture.
Yes.
And the big pictures, the mainstream films all won all the technical awards.
Yep.
Music, sound design, cinematography. So it kind of flipped from what it used to be, and I think the voting academy is now they feel they're open to awarding the right films for the right things, and they're not scared of giving genre film a big award. They're not relegated to visual effects anymore.
Not anymore. Not when District 9 was given a Best Picture nomination. I knew that there was a sea change in the way Hollywood was actually looking at its speculative fiction, and its fantasy and sci-fi. But District 9 getting a Best Picture nomination was also connected to Weta and our friends down in New Zealand, of course, and Peter Jackson, who, cultivated the, young directing career.
And you know why District 9 exists is because Peter Jackson, Steven Spielberg, and Weta had done all this work designing Halo, the movie.
It never happened.
And the studio just did not want to make the Halo movie, so that Weta basically said, "Hey, since you're not going to use any of these designs for these guns and these aliens, can we use them?"
Yeah.
And they said, "Fine, whatever." So basically, District 9 is what you get when you cancel a movie, and this is why it so hurts that we don't get to see anything from Guillermo del Toro's The Hobbit. That's why I think he needs to be involved in Amazon so he can dig up these little things because
Yes.
there
yes.
is history
Yes.
that Weta is willing to dig out in the archives from Halo to make District 9.
True. I see where you're going with this.
And so
I see where you're going with this.
and
yes.
we know that they hang
Yeah.
on to everything.
Yeah.
So if they can do turn Halo work into District 9, they can take Guillermo del Toro's The Hobbit and turn it into the Amazon series. That's what I feel like. That the work is not wasted.
Thank you, Brittany. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I'll get some tea and honey for that cough. Sorry, it's like a little bit of a lingering cough, and I know it's like awful to hear. But you know what? Del Toro has a place. Somewhere, a place for Del Toro. Somewhere, there's a place for Del Toro. And it's at Amazon. Please make it happen.
The incredible thing is
Such a great idea.
Now that
I'm surprised I hadn't thought of that before.
We can walk up those stairs at Hollywood and Highland where they list every year's best pictures. Citizen Kane,
Yes.
The Godfather,
Yep.
and The Shape of Water
Yep.
will be forever inscribed
On those columns.
on those columns,
Right.
on those stairs walking up to the Oscar Theater.
That's right. And right
The
next
Shape
to
of Water.
The Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, which is also right up there.
Amazing. Thank you for joining us for this early show. We really appreciate you guys tuning into the Oscars. So I've seen so many tweets of people that were not watching the Oscars. Like, why wouldn't you? It's entertainment. It's an escape. Hollywood is an escape from everything. And this was just a wonderful year to see so many wonderful films from Guillermo, Blade Runner, Star Wars. Like, everything was good last year.
Yes.
Wonder Woman was great.
So good.
Everything was good last year. And this year is shaping up to be really good, too. Black Panther was great. The trailer for Winnie the Pooh, oh my goodness. Ewan McGregor and Winnie the Pooh, I almost cried.
Stop.
You have to see that trailer for Christopher Robin. It's amazing. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi talking to Winnie the Pooh. And it's exactly what I didn't know I want.
So sweet. All right, now guess what else we have to look forward to this year? The J.R.R. Tolkien movie about his life, starring Nicholas Hoult, directed by Don Karokowski,
and starring the sister from the Queen movie.
Thank you, Vicky.
What's the show? The Crown.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Crown.
The girl from The Crown, the sister from The Crown, I think, is going to play Edith Tolkien.
Edith Tolkien. Yeah.
But importantly, is that the film studio that made The Shape of Water, the film studio that supported Guillermo del Toro, the film studio that put all of its weight behind Guillermo's weird, wonderful film, is the same studio that's doing J.R.R. Tolkien's life story.
How about that?
Fox Searchlight. So
good stuff.
So we're really excited to see it all comes together, and man, we need to reach out to Fox Searchlight, see if we can talk to Nicholas Hoult and see what it was like bringing.
I'm so down.
To life.
So down to interview him. It'd be so awesome.
Yes.
But I'll end up talking to him about Mad Max Fury Road a lot. You'll end up asking him about X-Men a lot, and we won't get any questions in about J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yeah, right.
But we'll have to do it. No, he's a geek after our own hearts, so we definitely need to interview Mr. Nicholas Hoult. I'm so down for that. And now it is 5:00. It is the witching hour.
No, well, this has been a fun little show.
Time to say goodbye.
This is not our new normal time. We'll be back to 5:00 next week. So we just
can't wait for us to be set up for next week.
Hopefully.
Oh my gosh, such good things in store.
So we're working on it. So 5:00. We'll be back next week at the same time, 5:00, and tune in. Follow us on everywhere at the One Ring Net, because as soon as we hear stuff, we post it.
We do indeed. Hey, Elizabeth, I agree. Wonder Woman should have been nominated. Absolutely, positively.
Yes.
It should have been. It was awesome.
All right.
Hey, you guys are wonderful. Bye, Pete. Bye, Hannah. Brittany, Vicky, Jen.
Thanks for joining us. And we'll
Kieran,
see you next week.
See you guys at the regular time. 5 p.m. Pacific time. Torn Tuesday will be coming right back at you. In the meantime, follow us, the One Ring Net, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at QuickBeam2000.
Much too hasty.
Too hasty. Bye.